Hi, I'm Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to be with you all here this morning. I want to talk about how we as people view God. Now I can only talk about it um from my point of view. The reason I'm saying it because when I sit back and I look and I see other people messages about God, and I know everybody always say we always praying to the same God, and we always God know who we talking to, um, and God is smart, and God ain't dumb, and God know everything, and I know we always talking for God. In other words, God ain't never told nobody none of that, but we always putting words in God's mouth. Me myself, when I observe the power of God, both male and female, always have to say that because it ain't no life here without a male and a female. You know, two masculine God can't bring forth life, and two female God can't bring forth life. It got to be a male and a female in order for us to be their offspring. But anyway, I would like to say when I observe the powers of these gods, I immediately observe the things that they have created, untouched by man, untampered with by man. In other words, men and women cannot bring this stuff forward. It takes a supreme being to do these kind of things. So when I look at that, then I say, okay, that's God working, both male and female. Then on the other hand, you got another God. You got a God of the man. Where the God of the man come in? Okay, the God of the man, they just like this. They want to convert you into their way of thinking. How do they do that? Hey, Mr. Thomas, Willie Thomas, how they convert you in their way of thinking? Hey, that's a good question. I'm glad that someone had to ask that. Well, they write things down. They preach stuff to you that's false. They write lies down. And after you studied it and you trying to make some sense out of what they brought forth, and they saying that that's God's spoken word. That's how they try to convert you in that nonsense. That's how they try to convert you in that damnable preaching or that damnable thinking. They do it so smooth you don't even know you being converted because you thinking that you doing something with your own free will. Prior to being introduced to that, that wasn't something that your format. You never followed that. You never thought about it that way. Once you introduced to that, once you reading somebody else's opinion, once somebody preaching their opinion upon you, once you start reading it in the format that they tell you to read it, and they telling you this what this means, you are being converted unknowingly. These are things I like to share with people to let people know how they work this. The Bible is the oldest voodoo book in the world. That's how they work their spell on you. That's how they work their witchcraft on you. And not only the Bible, but you got other religious books. It's just like brothers and sisters of the Bible. So it probably be a lesser version than the Bible, but nevertheless, it's the same thing. So once you in those books, you in the books of the dead, and you being converted to their way of thinking. God have already put a book in your head. God gave you your brain. And with your brain, it didn't come with none of them books that man written. Listen, I understand every book we read is not bad, but you're not reading that book to get closer to God. You reading that book for entertainment. You reading that book for helping you advance in knowledge. You reading that book for all different types of reasons. So that's no harm, no foul to you. But when you start getting these books that religious saying that God said this and God said that and God ain't said none of that, right then and there they trying to convert you into their way of thinking. I'm gonna follow the living God. The living God is the one that we've been seeing all our life. I'm not trying to convert you to that. You know why? Because that's what you've been saying. That's what I've been saying. Can't nobody convert you to that but God himself. God the one created that. I didn't create that. No man or woman of the earth created that. When you follow that, God the one is talking to you, not man and women of the earth. And that's all I'm trying to say. It's just a common sense thing. Knowing that when God is working and when men and women are working here on earth. And it's not extremely hard, you know. It's easy. It's just sitting back and observing with the knowledge and the senses that God gave you. So don't let no man or woman on this earth mislead you. We, without excuse, because we see God each and every day. If we was blind and couldn't see it, we feel God present. We still wouldn't have no excuse. Only thing I'm just trying to help everyone to understand how the whole world been led astray and how people are focusing on men and women of the earth today that God created, how they are worshiping them and not the divine God. You have this pastor on YouTube, Jenkins. He condemned everybody by the Bible. So back in the old days when the Pharisees and the Sadducees, when they going by that crowd, they did the same thing. But the only difference between them, they condemn you or by their religious book, but they stoned you to death. With stone, with real rocks, they killed people. Jenkins is doing the same thing. But instead of the stone, he taking the Bible that man done made, which is the voodoo book, and he are putting spells on people, trying to condemn them and mess their life up, you know? It gonna work. The reason it gonna work because they all of them in the same book of the dead. Witchcraft work on Christians all day long because they're dealing with the same spirit. A person say they're going to church, but guess what you're doing with? You're dealing with spirit. Guess what people do in witchcraft? They deal with the spirits of the dead. Guess what church people do? They deal with the spirits of the dead. That's why a person who don't have to step one foot in the church can put a spell on somebody who go to church every day because they dealing with the same spirits, the book of the dead. Witchcraft deal with the book of the dead. Church people deal with the book of the dead. So what I'm saying, it's easy to work spells on people. People got to know these things so they can protect themselves. So they won't, if you don't play with the book of the dead, if you don't be in there trying to worship that stuff, and then that stuff is unable, the chances of that stuff working on you is very slim. If you don't involve yourself with that entity, with those spirits, then the chance of somebody trying to put a hex on you or trying to put a curse on you, the chance of that is working is slim to none because you're not involving yourself with those spirits, you know. I'm trying to tell you all something to help you all going forward. People I know all the time, they go to church every day talking about, ooh, this person at the judge trying to put this, ooh, this person, I got to go get me some candles to burn, or I got to get me a reverse candle for that part and all that. They do that stuff because they dealing with the same spirit and they unaware of it. Me, myself, I'm not dealing with no book of the dead. I'm not dealing with no religious book, period. I'm not even going to, even if somebody tried to do something to me, it would never work because I'm not entering into the place of the shadows of death. I'm staying away from that. Long as I don't put my feet over there in the shadows of death, I'm protected by the living God. The living God, the one who made the sun, the one who made the moon, the one who made the stars, the one who created the human beings at little earths down here, you know? I'm protected by that. That's what protect me and keep people from harming me and hurting me, because that's where they coming from. That's why a lot of stuff that they do, it don't affect me, because I want to place myself in the shadows of death. I'm just trying to help you all going forward. Trying to let you all know that we got a divine God that always been present in our life. That not the one in the man-made books. The man-made gods, the man-made spirits, and they dwell only in death. Men and women came up with dead or alive. God didn't do that. God gave you your beginning and the day you expire. It's a difference. I'm with the living God, the one who gave me my beginning. And when it's time for me to expire, I was expire with them, both male and female. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. I love each and every one of you all out there. Keep coming in, and let's keep talking about these things. Let's keep waking up our conscience that God gave us. Let's use that mechanism, that third eye that God put in us, to observe all these spirits and all these things that man and women doesn't involve themselves in, not knowingly what they're doing. Anytime you're dealing with the dead, you're dealing with Satan. Anytime you're dealing with the book of the dead, you're dealing with Satan. You got some people pre-Satan good. You got some people pre-Satan bad, you know. You got some people pre-Satan prosperity. You got some people pre-Satan in peace. You got some people pre-Satan in love. But what I'm just saying, when you involve yourself in the book of the dead, it's all kind of different spirits, or all kind of different stuff gonna come out of that. It's not gonna do nobody no good. Well, I got to get ready to go to work. It was nice talking to you all today. Let's just keep focusing on the living God, and let's get away from all this stuff. It's not doing us no good. Hey, my name is Willie Robert Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Keep subscribing to my channel. I'll talk to you all later.